Traveling with kids is one of life's greatest adventures. And when I say greatest, I mean sucky. Once you have children, hitting the road or taking to the skies is never the same. Buckle up. It's Shauna, Ryan, and Johnny, and we are bad parents.
Let's do a little bit of a roll call, okay, guys? Shauna, your kids' names?
Jack and Eli. Jack is 15 in grade 9. Eli is approximately 9.
Approximately, I like it.
Yeah.
It's a bad parent.
Ryan Parker.
Let's go. 5'7", 180 pounds. Oh,
Likes to do sex more than us because he's got 3 kids.
yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
I've had sex 3 times if you're just getting to know
And
me.
it all took.
And I'll tell you right now, I don't know how to make girls. I guess you have to be sober because I got myself 3 boys.
I would concur with that. I have 2 boys.
Right. So Johnny's had sex sober once. Okay, so I have 3 boys. They are Drew, who is 8. They are Rory, who just turned 12, and Travis, who is in grade 9 as a 14.
Congratulations. I have 2 children. I scratched off the winning lottery ticket for the $1 million family. I have a boy who is 2 and a girl who is 4. And neither one of them were conceived via me and my wife having sex. Both of them, IVF.
All right, we're talking about traveling with children. Whether you've done it, you have to do it. It's a painful experience. Agree or disagree?
I totally agree.
It's you very much look forward to the vacation, and then when it comes, you think, I can't wait for this to be over. And then we're going to talk about the difference between driving versus flying.
Oh, boy.
And I've done both. I'm a wily vet here, and I've got 3 children, right? And right now their ages are 8, 12, and 14. And we've been driving to Cape Breton, and we live in the Toronto area. So that's a solid 21-hour drive.
Oh, my gosh.
People used to think we were insane.
I still do.
Yeah, and when we started going when like my firstborn was a newborn, and we used to go in the middle of the night just so he would sleep as much as possible. And I would drive and drive and drive till my eyes bled. Probably not the safest decision, but we did it. And we went all the way through. Like at one point we went
all the way through,
Oh,
Ryan?
yeah. I stopped to sleep and my wife would feed him. Yeah, it's crazy. Looking back now, I'll say this. You feel like if you're a parent and you look back to your younger days when your kids are younger, you're like, I can do anything. If I can do that, I can do anything.
I totally agree with you.
So, and we still continue to go now. We've even had it. So we've had like a 1-year-old, 3-year-old, and 5-year-old, and it's a 21-hour drive. We do stop now because it makes it a little bit easier. But talk about road trips versus flying and the pros and cons. So for example, here it says, here's the pros to traveling with your family. Okay. Specifically, if you're going like in a minivan. Create memories to last a lifetime. It brings the family closer together. Kids will have a lot more to say. Your child will become a lot more patient. It takes children out of their comfort zone. A family road trip is educational, and you can take almost anything with you. Okay, those are the pros.
Oh, boy.
Here's the cons that I came up with. It brings your family closer together. Kids will have a lot more to say. It takes children out of their comfort zone, and you can take almost anything with you. Have you guys ever experienced a serious roadie with your children?
Oh, yeah, we did Boston once. And
now, how long's that drive?
Maybe 8 or 9. It's halfway you did, and I'm not going to lie, it did not go well.
You haven't done it yet, Johnny?
I haven't done it yet. My kids are very small, 4 and 2 now. I have taken them on a 4-hour jaunt, which is the longest we've gone in the car. Seem to have gone okay. Mm-hmm. My biggest concern is like, and I don't know if you feel like this as well, because Ryan, you've taken them on a plane.
I've done that as well.
Have you taken your kids on a plane?
Yes.
Okay, so my concern is at 2, Jack, him being disruptive to other passengers.
Yes.
Olivia is at the age now where I feel like you can reason with her of why we don't act a certain way on the plane and this and that. If Jack ain't having it, he ain't having it. And that's my biggest sort of like, I'm scared to go on a plane. Now, we're doing a bit of a tester. 2.5 hour, 2:45 down in Florida. We're going to Disney.
Oh, nice.
Then we've decided to just F it and fly to Vancouver Island, which is from Toronto, where we live, is about 5 hours and then a little bit easier on the way back. But we're flying to a certain part, and for a lot of people, you fly somewhere, then you got to get the car, then you got to install the car seats, and like that's what we're doing.
That's a lot with the 2-year-old.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it. And you can go online and I have an Instagram account and I follow some tips to travel with kids, sort of whatever's. And it always sort of like, much like Happy Days or other sort of TV shows of that genre, it all works out in the end, right? These TikTok videos,
Yes.
you know, at the end, like bring this crib on the plane and, you know, there's never any turbulence and like, you know, they love to sleep on plane. Everything works out. And I'm like, I know better.
Yeah.
I'm still like...
So you see these tips on those sorts of things where it's like, what me and my wife did was we packed a little package
It's
for
always
all
the
the people around, right?
packages, yeah.
And we gave them eye masks and earbuds and we gave them a granola bar. And then everyone was so happy because we looked out for them. You just got to go in, you got to muck it up and you got to do it. I'll say this, going back and forth between flying and driving. I have flown and I flew with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. And because my wife and I are very much like, we just tackle things, we just do it, right? And because we don't, in my experience, we don't have any help. We don't have any grandparents. We don't really have anyone to help us. So it's always us or nothing. And so we did it. And it's an awful feeling. It's an awful feeling rocking a 1-year-old and people stare at you. Yeah. And I wanted to say to them, you know, staring's not going to help. I'm totally aware of the situation here. The other part of the flying that's tough is, and in us specifically when we went, my 3-year-old threw up on the way to the airport. So we had to then open up the suitcase and get all this stuff. I was amazed. 2 things amazed me about flying with children. One, I was amazed at how many people do not help you, do not care to help you.
No, not at all.
We were going through security and we had the stroller. And you know, the strollers now are all like, so he's like, you got to put that through the thing. So my wife had a sick 3-year-old on her and I'm carrying the 1-year-old and I have the stroller. And he's like, you got to put it through the x-ray machine.
And didn't help?
And I'm trying to like do it with one hand. And he just stood there like, buddy, you're holding up the line. And fortunately, a person behind us said, can I help you? So it's the kindness of strangers, which is amazing. And I will say maybe the best compliment I ever got was we flew another time and we were in Chicago airport. And someone came up to me and said, I can't tell you how well behaved your 3 children are.
How does that make you feel as a parent?
It makes you feel amazing.
The best, right?
Yes.
I've yet to hear it. I'm looking forward to the day.
Well, it's only because you have 2 children. If you have one more, you'll hear it. But the driving thing, I'm not kidding when I tell you this. The closest I ever came to a nervous breakdown was in Napanee. That's where Avril Lavigne's from, right?
Yeah.
That's where I thought.
Yes.
And I was like, this is where I die. Like Ryan, born in Oakville, raised in Mississauga, dead in Napanee. And I'll tell you why. On the way home, it's 18 hours into our drive home. My 2 of my Ed and my 3 wouldn't stop with each other. And I couldn't, like, I actually thought like I was breaking down. And I got to a gas station and I wanted to take my keys and go into the gas station and say, if anyone wants a wife, 3 children, and a 2010 Dodge Caravan, take it. I don't even care. I actually thought of like walking into traffic. Oh, I was a disaster.
Yeah. I can feel it. Like I can imagine that. And only if you have kids can you imagine that state you were in.
In that same trip, I'll tell you, you mentioned, we've talked about like the biggest fights you have into with your spouse. This is what happens when you travel with a family. My wife made a bunch of snacks and stuff like that to go to Cape Breton in 21 hours. We're in Acton, which is where we live. She made muffins and she made blah, blah, blah. We're like, let's get a coffee. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's get a coffee and hit the road. And I'm all excited, right?
Yeah.
And as a man, as the father, I'm like, this is my challenge to get my family there safe within record time. I get myself a coffee and I order a muffin and we carry off. And my wife says, why'd you order a muffin? I said, because it's vacation. Let's go. She's like, no, but I made muffins.
Oh, no.
I go,
off the bat.
Oh, Charlene, we're in Acton. I can see my house. And I go, yeah, but I don't. You said you rummaging through the cooler with the kids are like half asleep.
Yeah,
it cost $2.
Yeah.
Right? We're spending $2,000 to get there. Well, I don't know why I made them then. I'm like, that's it. We did not talk from Acton to like an hour away. We were like in Ajax, and she finally said something to me.
So it sounds like you won.
Right. So there's a piece of advice right now if you're traveling with a fan. And that's the other big debate is who's driving? Husband, wife, do you take any turns? I don't like her to take any turns. 2 reasons. One, I don't want to deal with the cooler and the turning around.
Exactly. You're not a rummager.
I feel like it's so much harder being the passenger than it is the driver. The driver, literally 1 gig.
Yep.
Right? Get there.
Yes.
The passenger, everything else.
It's so true because there's nothing, I'll say this. I am not a diva at all. But if I ever feel like a diva, if I feel like I'm Mick Jagger, it's when I'm driving and it's like my wife hands me like a sandwich that's in like cellophane.
I know what you're going to say.
Open it.
Yes.
Or if there's like breaking up ahead, I'm like, I just throw my food at her and I take care
throw
of it.
your trash at your partner.
It's the 2 weeks a year I get to throw things at her and I don't have to hear about it. There is nothing cooler. Or like she hands me grapes and there's like, you know, the whatever the vine thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, throw it. One of these. Do something with this.
She's your snack catcher.
Do something with this. But yeah, but it does create a lot of memories. We're at the point now where my kids talk a lot about the drive.
Cool. Yeah.
And so I feel like I've created enough memories to never go on vacation again.
My 9-year-old son loves to go on trips, loves to travel. I thought, why not just delve a little deeper into his little mind, see what he likes when it comes to a good old road trip or going on a plane.
We're going to hear a 9-year-old's POV.
Yes, exactly.
On vacationing with you and your husband, his father,
yes,
and his brother. I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
I love it. You want to hear the first one?
Absolutely.
All right.
Carry-on luggage or checked bag?
What does that mean?
Oh, that's right. I do it all for you. Didn't start strong because I forgot this kid knows nothing.
You remembered he's 9, right? That's like, what's next? Fixed or variable mortgage?
Right.
Do you think that parents will look down on you oh, so your son's 9 and he can't even pack his own bag?
Oh, yeah.
Do your kids pack their own bags, Ryan? Your kids are a little older. Johnny, I know you have a 2 and 4-year-old.
I say to Jack, the 2.5-year-old, if you want to go to Canada's Wonderland, you better pack your own bag or we're staying right here in your room.
Tough love.
My 8-year-old packed his own bag once.
And
when we got to Cape Breton, we opened it up and it was nothing but stuffies.
Aw, yes, that's what they do.
Yeah, you can't brush your teeth with a stuffy.
No.
So no, they do not pack their own bags anymore.
Here's the next one.
On vacation, wake up early or wake up late?
Wake up early because you have much time, and then my brother who sleeps in the whole vacation. And I just wake up early so I can do the fun activities while he's just snoring away.
He's exasperated with his brother. Did you hear that?
That's what that, you know what that is? You know what that is? As someone who's got 3 sons, that is one brother saying, I just want to talk about this forever. I put up with his BS.
Yes.
And my older brother, you can assume he's older because he sleeps all vacation. He's like, he just ruined my life.
Exactly.
Love it.
Also screams young child optimism.
I
that
know.
The fun activities are in the morning.
I know.
Yeah. I love it. It's the best.
He's the kind of kid then that would go and take the towel to the beach chair.
Oh, definitely.
And reserve it for you.
Absolutely. Here's the next one.
Road trip games. I Spy or family sing-along?
I Spy? Who does sing-alongs anymore? That's back in the 80s.
Ouch. Now he's age-shaming you.
Yeah.
He's an ageist.
Can I also
That's
say,
funny.
I'm very impressed by Eli.
You are?
He's 9, right?
Yes.
That he's not I Spy. Forget that. Tablet City USA.
Yeah.
He legit wants to play I Spy.
Oh, he loves I Spy, and I hate it. I'll
Why
do
do you hate
anything else. It's just, I hate games.
You know what? I kind of do too.
Oh, God. I don't even think I liked them when I was a kid.
I'll do something I Spy Milo, something that's green in the car. I'm grass. I'm got it. Let's move on.
That's how I play.
Wow. Here's the next one.
In a hotel room, do you want the bed by the door or the bed far away from the door?
Far away from the door, because if someone's breaks in and I'm just streaming, they can just watch me sleep, and I don't like that. But if I'm far away, they'll see the person in the closest bed first.
That's me.
Oh.
Oh, and I'll say this, and with all due respect, to be honest, if I was to break into your family's hotel room, I'm not watching him sleep. I'm watching you sleep. Right over top of you. So don't worry about that, Eli.
Even before I had kids, I was an away from the door sleeper. I always made Sarah sleep closest to the door, and she kind of took a little bit of offense to it.
Yeah, you got to man up.
Well, I don't want to man up.
No.
I don't want to be sliced and diced.
So let her?
Well, if I don't want to be, then I guess de facto she gets it, I guess.
Oh, my God. You're just a 9-year-old.
I'm not wishing for it.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Next.
Road trip or airplane?
Road trip. Because you don't have to pay for snacks on the plane, and you can just load up on snacks, but that's still money, but you can just talk up you want, but other people will snore on your head.
Okay, this is where it became a complete 9-year-old answer.
You know what I realized?
What?
When I drink, I'm 9-year-old Eli. That's what I sound like. Because it really didn't make a lot of sense.
No.
He also doesn't care about your money situation.
No.
That's the beauty of kids. Like he just thinks, well, like I see my mom buy the groceries and take them into the car. So he sees that cost.
Yeah.
But because someone hands him something in a plane, he thinks it's not paid for.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, you just spent $10,000 to fly to Florida.
I know.
It's a beautiful age.
It's like when you see the sign like kids eat for free on like Sundays. Actually, kids always eat free because they never are paying.
That's right.
So don't say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of get where Eli's going there. I don't. You emailed me these clips and you labeled them.
Yeah.
This one I think is going to cut.
When it comes to a road trip, mom or dad driving?
Dad, obviously. No, because you drove into a ditch once, and I just trust Dad more.
If you didn't hear that, he said that you, Shauna, have driven into a ditch.
It's a true story.
Therefore,
it was, an accident. And to this day, when I make any turns in the car, you see both kids grab that little handle above the window.
Yeah.
It happens, but really a lifelong of no trust.
You drive into a ditch once. You're a ditch driver.
My favorite part of that clip was this, obviously. Dad, obviously.
Dad, obviously.
Mom, let's move on. Now, that's very interesting, talking about road trips and driving, because that's often a conversation my wife and I have, where I do the driving, like 21 hours to Cape Breton. She would like to do some of the driving, kind of the easy portions, like the New Brunswicks, where you're just going straight. Thing is, I ham up. It's so much harder to drive. I got the responsibility. I got 5 souls in this van because I don't want to deal with going back there and getting another snack and doing this and changing the diaper and stuff like that. So my question is this. Do you drive at all on a long roadie?
No, probably not. Mike is also the worst backseat driver. He's terrible. And it's not worth the hassle of him telling me and judging me and the sounds he makes if I do something like, oops, in a ditch. Like, come on.
Well, I could see him being woken and upset about being in a ditch.
Okay, maybe the ditch part, but he's terrible.
What about you, Johnny? Do you do all the driving or just
I have, yeah. I just kind of like it. I was like start a task, end a task.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of like my mentality. If I'm starting, I might as well finish.
Plus, I don't want to give her any credit. Like, I don't want to say if I'm having a conversation and someone's like, hey, what's the first you ever driven? We drove 21 hours to Cape Breton every year. And then I don't want to say, well, I drove 4 of them. Oh, no, I need it.
You want all the glory.
I want all the glory.
What's the longest drive you've done on vacation? Is yours?
Yeah, 21 hours, 22 hours.
That's a lot.
I drove from Macon, Georgia to Toronto in one shot.
How far is that?
I don't forget. It was so long.
That's extreme. That's really long.
I was tired. Here's the next clip.
Road trip snacks or stopping at McDonald's?
Snacks.
Ooh.
Because you can just load up on snacks. Otherwise, you have to stop, and then it'll take longer. So snacks.
Wow, good for him.
I was in the car at the time with my husband. The smile on my husband's face hearing his son say that, because my husband never stops, never. So the fact that he heard his child say that meant a lot to him.
One of the things I always say when I'm with the kids and we're going somewhere, we haven't done anything super crazy long. We've been to Chatham, which is 4 hours. Is as soon as we get there, hey, can we stop or can we go get snacks or something? I need to get some pavement under the wheels and then we'll stop. Let us just get a little bit going and then I'll stop all you want. But I almost need that sort of push, perpetual motion. Give me an hour in.
That's Mike.
Oh, wow. Hour.
Mike's an hour and a half.
I'm a 4-hour guy. We do not.
I'm only going 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Then I wouldn't stop. I really wouldn't.
You wouldn't stop on a 4-hour trip.
What Eli just said there, I would not adopt him. I love that child because it's just about getting there. It's not about anything else.
I will stop in the same town as we leave in. And I think that's the closest Mike and I ever came to getting divorced.
The next clip I know is about siblings. Okay. And you have traveled, Shauna, with kids who are siblings. Ryan, you travel with. I have yet to really kind of do it. We're doing it. We're going to Florida in July. We're going to Vancouver Island, which I'm dreading in August.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Because that's not even you're driving. You just pull over and just kind of take a time out or go to the park and just burn off energy. It's 5 hours in a plane. Man. I've never done it. I'm super scared. So I thought this was a very interesting question. And thank you for asking it.
Do you want to travel with or without your brother, Jack?
Without, because he's pretty annoying and he doesn't talk that much, but I'm a chit chatter, so I talk a lot. And he's just gonna be there looking out his window, probably on his phone the whole time watching TikTok.
Yeah. And how old's Jack?
Jack's 15.
Yeah, hey, you nailed him to a T.
Yeah.
And I loved how he kind of like led up to these. He's kind of like, I don't want to offend him because if he hears, he's going to punch me. He's kind of annoying.
But I also love it. He knows who he is. He knows he's a chit chatter.
I love that.
You know what you've got? You've got planes, trains, and automobiles at your home.
I do.
Jack is Steve Martin and Eli is John Candy.
Oh my God.
I like me. That's what he's going to say next. Mom likes me. Mom and Dad like to be with me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This is the last one.
Water park or Fenway Park?
Waterwork. Because like my dad's gonna be pissed.
He worries about the old man because you guys are huge Bo Sox fans, right?
Yes, and we've been to Fenway Park. Eli ran the bases there. He sang with the mascot, with Wally. Like, this is, my husband is all wrapped up in this little boy. Someday maybe playing for the Red Sox. So him to pick Water Park, it would devastate Mike. And he knew it right away. The kid was like, oh God.
Was he like, Mom, don't rat me out on this one. I'm helping your work here, but please be my mom.
My dad's going to be so pissed. If I were to ask both of you, what is the hardest age to travel with a child? What would you say? Because you both have kids and you both traveled. What's the hardest age? According to I'm a very literal Googler.
Okay.
I literally Googled what is the hardest age, and this was the answer.
I think I know this.
Okay, hit me.
18 months to 3.
Okay.
I was going to say under 2. Anything under 2.
Okay, you're both technically correct.
Yeah.
Your answer, Shauna, started at the end of this answer.
Oh, okay.
So it says experienced traveling families already know this, but in most cases, the hardest time to travel with a child is from when they become squirmy and mobile, around 9 months old, like,
Okay.
Give or take,
Yeah.
until they hit the age of reason bargaining. They say cartooning, so it's like drawing, like I don't know, or snacking, and that's usually starts about 18 months.
Right.
Snacking
Okay.
helps.
So
The bargaining thing to me, like I am a bargainer.
you can't bargain with an 18-month-old, can you? I don't really remember being able to do that.
Just like reason, like, hey,
I guess.
if you just stop crying, I'll give you like a big,
Yeah.
right? Please stop. So I have some do's and don'ts, and I'm going to read some do's and don'ts about traveling with children, and you can tell me whether or not you agree or disagree.
Love
it. Okay. So they say, do bring stuff for the kids to do. It's amazing how a Kindle or a tablet, some coloring books can kids keep happy and content on a long plane ride.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
The techier, the better for my kids. The coloring books never worked for mine.
I don't believe in screen time.
Oh God, Ryan!
Just kidding. Watch everything you want.
Yeah.
I don't even care if you watch Top Gun and you're 18 months old.
Yeah.
As long as it keeps you quiet.
It's all about how do we get to our destination,
Yes.
and I'll deal with the fallout then. They say, don't forget to bring chargers for your
Yes,
devices.
sir.
Yep.
If your kid's iPad dies 2 hours into the flight,
They have vending machines for those now at the airport. They probably charge you like $50, but every parent is going to buy that.
I remember traveling when I was younger, probably in the mid-90s. You could buy handheld video game systems. So you could rent it in Vancouver,
No
play with
way.
it on your way to Toronto, and then you drop it off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. Do bring snacks. They're the easiest for the kids to eat. Think crackers and other non-messy snacks, like that Blue Jays pitcher's life, the popcorn.
And don't be afraid, guys, to starve your children before the trip so that they were really excited about those snacks. I used to do that when we went to the mother-in-law's for fancy dinners. They would eat all day. I know
Really?
it sounds bad. They're not going to die, but they were so good at dinner because they were starving.
Just on that topic, my wife couldn't breastfeed, and so we did formula. Also, don't be scared to ask people for help in terms of we used to have to go at gas stations or a restaurant or whatever for boiling water to warm it up. Generally speaking, in my experience, people were very willing to help and understanding.
People annoying.
Hey, what am I supposed to do?
I know.
He won't latch on to me.
Don't bring messy snacks that will cause in-seat catastrophes or incite a riot or like an environmental disaster, and it's just all over the place. And don't forget to bring wipes regardless of your children's ages.
Wipes are so important.
I am such a wipe guy.
Yeah.
They're in every car.
Yes.
They're in every backpack. I like to use them at rib fests. Like
I
they're
still use
just,
baby wipes. My kid's
Of course you
9.
do.
Of course, because I eat Cheetos. I have to in the
Do
car.
sit near the restrooms if your child uses the bathroom often.
Yes, we even planned that at the movie theater.
Yeah,
Don't let your kid go to the bathroom just for kicks. Also take your kid to the restroom before you board the plane. If my kid wants to go to the bathroom 50 times during a flight, like I'm not saying no.
What if they're not doing anything
But
in there?
at least we're up and moving around, right?
yeah.
I don't want to get blood clots in my legs.
No, I'm saying no because everyone's going to judge you going back and forth. And
That's
honestly, the bathrooms in a plane are disgusting.
So gross.
You hold it as long as you can. Bro.
But if you're the first one in, you can do whatever you want.
True that.
Yeah.
Right? You're the last one in on an 8-hour flight into Minsk. You're screwed. Do bring headphones for your kids to use while they play or watch movies.
Yes.
Yes, but I'm going to say this: if you're a young parent or you haven't got them, the over-the-ear ones are much easier. The little like Apple ones
The
you
buds?
get inside, like the kids are too. I have a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
12-year-old. He can't even wear them still.
No, you're right.
Fall out.
Yes.
Just because they say don't forget that there are people around you, so be conscious of the volume.
And even those little kid ones have volume maximum limits, which is also good for other travelers.
Do let your kids enjoy the airline provided snacks and drinks. It's part of the fun, right? So let them go, especially if it's their first time.
For sure. Let them have a little Grey Goose.
No, champagne and orange juice.
And who's going to
water
like
it
say
down.
no, right? Like who's like give me a little extra for daddy. Don't let your kids get hopped up on caffeine during a long flight. Make them choose juice or a non-caffeinated beverage like Sprite.
Right? That's right. We learned Sprite does not have caffeine.
Yeah, when I was doing this, I looked it up and I said to you guys, I'm like, did you know that Sprite is caffeine free?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. And I looked it up. Most non-cola sodas are caffeine free, but I thought caffeine was part of the deal.
No. And it's also good for spilling any of the clear pops,
Yeah,
right?
Of course it is.
So that's a
Why do
double
they make-
bonus.
Yeah.
We're very lax parents, so we were and still are. But one thing we were able to avoid, it was pop for a long, long time. Like my kids were pretty old before they got into the pops.
You know the bubblies, the bublés?
Yeah.
My
They
kids
think it's-
tried them and it was like they put acid in their mouth.
So
They
just tell
both
them
hate
that's
it.
what pop tastes like.
Yeah, it's just apple juice, straight up apple juice all the time. Do leave for the airport early. That way you don't have to rush, right? But that's just.
You'd be amazed how many people don't.
Kids
and
are
they're-
unkids.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Don't forget to select your seats as early as you can. The last thing you want to do is be separated from your family.
I thought that was the next tip. Leave it with the passenger at the front.
Do bring antibacterial wipes and hand sanitizer. Planes are dirty and kids aren't nearly concerned enough when it comes to germs. I 100% agree with that. Before the pandemic, we were flying to the west coast of Canada, onto Vancouver Island to see one of the kids, well, both kids, grandparents.
Yeah.
And there was just one at the time. And we had like the bulkhead seats. We were right at the front, so we had a little bit of extra leg room. She probably licked the carpet
Oh, yeah.
27 times, just all over the ground.
And they
It's
don't
disgusting.
always throw out the bags. So sometimes you'll find old pieces of gum in the
stop.
bags and the kids will want to touch it.
And they said, but then they say, don't let the grossness of flying spoil your fun. Tell that to a germ. Like, of course it might.
Yeah.
Try to keep their paws as germ free as you can. But, good luck, right?
Yeah.
Can I add another one in there, unless it's there?
Sure. Oh, I'm done, actually.
If they're old enough to chew gum, because the ears, right?
Definitely.
The popping of the
Yes.
ears is tough for little ones. That was
Yes.
like the hardest part for us.
Now,
We've done the road and air, and that's the hard part of air.
I talked to a travel with kids specialist before doing this podcast, and she said, I asked about the gum. She said, it's great if you can chew. It's great if you can chew or you actually get gum.
Mm-hmm.
For the young ones, they say suckers.
Oh, that'll still work?
Suckers will work because it's all about just creating saliva and just swallowing.
Okay.
And both my kids don't get gum.
No, a lot of kids will just chew it and swallow it.
Yeah, they definitely have to be old enough.
Yeah.
So, the other thing I think I've seen is like when you take like plastic like cups and you put them on over your ears.
It just moves them?
Yeah, I don't know. You just hold them there. You look like a fool.
And then you, on the descent, then you like take them off and do that big pop. It's like cupping, the cupping of the ears.
Yeah, it's cupping of the ears.
I've never heard of that ever.
Okay, so best family vacations in Canada. Okay, we're in Canada.
Yeah.
And this is from, I love the U.S. perspective. This has come from usnews.com.
Oh, I can't
/Trump.
wait for this.
Okay, so here, and okay, number one, and I will blow the load in the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think number one is?
Are you talking cities?
No, just it's cities. It's best family vacations in Canada
Canada's Wonderland.
according to usnews.com.
Niagara.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah, of course.
Number one. You know what they touted their like little sort of capsule, like their little blurb?
Yeah.
The Maid of the Mist boat tour.
Oh,
Come
man.
on, man.
Number two city. Anyone?
It's got to be Calgary.
Vancouver.
Oh.
Prince Edward Island at number 3, Whistler at number 4, Quebec at number 5 for the best family vacations in Canada. I don't know about like Quebec City.
Well, where's
Quebec over Montreal?
Yeah, where's the dinosaur thing? Drumheller, where's that?
That's Calgary area, I think.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
thought that'd be higher.
No, it's not. But this is from the U.S., right?
Yeah.
I think they're just listing every Canadian city.
Like PEI, I'm not. Listen, my wife's from the East Coast, but what are you going to do?
We
there?
did it. We took the boys. They were about, I want to say like 4 and 9. And we took them to PEI. The most boring time we've ever had. Like you try, but they did not enjoy themselves.
Kelowna at number 10, but I hear that Kelowna is like the meth capital of Canada. Why would you throw them up there?
It's what not to do, kids.
That's it. That's on the travel. So hopefully this podcast has helped you if you're going to be traveling with your kids.
It makes me never want to travel with kids again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the best thing is we want to hear your bad parent stories. So send them to us at badparents@curiouscast.ca. And if you have an idea for a future episode, we want to hear that from you as well. We're all on your favorite podcast platforms, and you can listen to our radio show. If you didn't know, we host a radio show weekday mornings from 5:30 till 10 a.m. on Q107 Toronto. And until next time, she's Shauna Whalen. I'm John Garbutt. He's Ryan. I tell my kids the car wash is an amusement park marker. And we'll be back next Wednesday on Bad Parents.